Some things that you felt were going to happen, and I'm sad to say that everything you predicted has in fact become true. And it was some bold assertions about where we were headed as a country in this administration.
5 years ago, I stated that Obama would take the country apart, piece by piece, that he would cause a civil war in this country. In hindsight, we can see how many things have come to pass. He has been warned numerous times by Prime Minister Netanyahu that our most dangerous enemy now is Iran, who will most definitely have the nuclear bomb. And it will not be for peaceful purposes. It will be to destroy Israel and America, as they have stated. And we certainly can believe these threats. The truth is, as the Supreme Court upheld, that religious freedoms are being infringed upon. Obama wrote a book about his father, who he seems to idealize. It's a fact that his father was a Marxist who hated America because he saw America as aggressors. Meanwhile, it was America who has helped all the other nations whenever they were in need. Obama never has acknowledged that, and in fact went across the world apologizing for us, and is piece by piece whittling down our military strength, the strength all the world has relied on. And in doing so, he has paved the way for the most violent radical elements across the world to thrive. My dear friends all over the world, please pay attention to what is taking place in our great America. Stand up for your freedoms.
That could cost a veteran his home. Larry Murphy has been in a battle over the past 2 years with his homeowners association in Jacksonville, Florida. That group has issued several fines against Murphy for placing a small American flag, there you see it right there, in his flower pot. He's refusing to pay $8,000 in fines. Well, now that group has put a foreclosure lien on his house.
First moved here, I loved it. It was wonderful. But it's just gotten where they nitpick more and more. It's a lot of friends and neighbors moving out.
Now, the fight over the flag, it could now be settled in Florida State Court.
Federal agents swarmed Livingston, Illinois. From Bommarito Automotive Skyfox, you can see Homeland Security, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and other police agencies. Residents there have a mystery. Why were federal, state, and county agencies in their town?
An impressive show of force that has everyone talking.
A Black Hawk helicopter circles the skies over Livingston, Illinois. On the ground, an Arch helicopter, a unified command post from Homeland Security, and SWAT team vehicles from Madison County, all parked in the field of a Livingston, Illinois grade school.
At first, I thought it was really neat, and then whenever all the armored trucks started showing up and everything, it made me kind of nervous, and I thought, what's going on?
The peacefulness of the town of 850 was broken by all the excitement.
I think it was pretty cool, actually.
The law officers would not comment about their operation, even to the school superintendent, and they were using the school district land.
I did not get any information on that at all.
You wish they would have told you ahead of time?
Yeah, it would have been nice if we would have at least received the phone call.
Our friend Joe went over there and they told him that they were waiting for something big to happen. They were on standby.
All that we received from them was that they were using this as a staging area.
The site became an instant attraction for citizens who say the officers were hospitable, inviting the kids to check out the choppers up close.
It was pretty cool inside, but we couldn't go inside because it said they had weapons in it.
Spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Fairview Heights will not comment on all these activities.
On the 4th of July, Tacoma Park Police Chief Alan Goldberg was wearing his uniform, including his sidearm. He spent the morning working at the holiday parade and stayed in uniform because he'd be back on duty in the evening for the fireworks display. In between, he took his daughter to IKEA in College Park to buy some furniture for her new apartment. The sign on the front door says weapon-free environment. The chief said he'd been inside about 2 hours with his daughter when a plainclothes loss prevention officer came up to him saying,
"We have a new firearms policy in the store, and you're going to either have to leave or you can lock your gun in the car."
Chief Goldberg says he was shocked. He left his shopping cart behind and posted his experience on Facebook.
In 35 years of law enforcement, that's the first time something like that's ever happened to me.
Another family has come forward claiming Petersburg police came on their front porch and tried to stop them from taking video of an arrest that was happening right in front of their home. They reached out to the On Your Side investigators and shared this dramatic cell phone video. The incident led to a violent confrontation. Tonight, investigative reporter Rachel DePompa finds out what happened and examines whether this is a pattern of behavior and a violation of your First Amendment rights.
This is cell phone video from 17-year-old Jaquan Fisher. He was standing on his own front porch recording the arrest happening on Rome Street. Jaquan's sister also started taking cell phone video. The person in the white sweatshirt is Jaquan's mother, Deborah.
They were trying to grab my son off the porch.
A second officer arrives during the struggle. There's an object in his hand. The family says he started spraying mace. But watch what happens when a third officer comes rushing into the chaos.
Let's be real clear. You have an absolute right to stand on your front porch and record what's going on in your front yard.
And we now have gun confiscation beginning in New York. I mean, it's real simple. It's a mafia takeover. Nassau County man, state militias came to my home and took everything. As the governor promised, the SWAT team raids are beginning. Defense Secretary Hagel says ISIS an imminent threat to every stabilized country on the earth. I agree with that statement, and the globalists that run it are the real imminent threat.
No, I didn't just describe a night raid in Iraq. I'm talking about the SWAT team raids that happen on average 146 times every single day in homes across the U.S. According to a recently released ACLU report, that equates to a whopping 45,000 SWAT raids every year. Now, just for context, back in the mid-1980s, militarized police units were only deployed about 3,000 times a year. So how did we get to this point? Now, SWAT units have spread nationwide, further militarizing local police forces. See, in addition to being given excess military equipment like armored tanks and fortified weaponry, police officers are also being trained as if they're just an extension of the military. And these methods have had devastating results, specifically when it comes to terrorizing the communities these officers are allegedly there to protect.
His walk is part of a new anti-crime initiative just unveiled a couple of hours ago. Operation Ceasefire, as it's called, will target a high-crime area, the police department's Patrol Zone 5. It covers northwest Jacksonville and parts of the north side and west side.
It's been murder after murder, and Jacksonville Sheriff John Rutherford says it needs to stop.
There has to be a ceasefire in this neighborhood.
Bring on Operation Ceasefire, a JSO and citywide effort to prevent crimes before they occur and get illegal guns off the street before the murders. In the few weeks since the operation started, officers have knocked on 4,000 out of the 18,000 doors they plan to knock on in the Northwest community, asking for answers to unsolved crimes. They've seized 10 illegal firearms.
Durham, where police officers are accused of lying in order to get inside homes. A Durham officer admits they'd knock on doors claiming there was a 911 call from the house in order to serve arrest warrants.
Inside a Durham County courtroom, a police officer admits under oath that he lied in order to gain entry to a home and serve an outstanding warrant. He knocked on a door claiming police had received a 911 hang-up call when in fact it never happened. An internal investigation is underway. If it proves to be true, it's a clear violation of department policy and in some legal circles a violation of the Constitution.
Chief, if you learn that these allegations are true, would this be a fireable offense?
If it is sustained, then we're going to have to look at our discipline and to find out at what point of culpability the individual has, and then work at it from there.
Well, did you know that letting your grass grow above a foot high is a crime in Abilene? Hello, everyone. I'm George Levesque.
Glad you're here. On Friday night, I'm Wayne McCormick. Next week, Abilene City Code Enforcement will be out cracking down on home and business owners who have overgrown grass and weed problems.
Abilene code enforcement officers drive around looking for high grass and weeds almost every day. Abilene's policy is to notify property owners first in person. But if no one is home, then it's back to the office. Code officers will then mail them a notice. 10 days later, the officer will revisit the property. If the grass has still not been cut, the officer will send a contractor to take care of it.
We are following developing news in Westwood, where a pro-Israel demonstration turned violent. It happened outside of the federal building in Westwood, where thousands gathered for a rally.
This is video of the incident obtained by the Jewish Journal. It is video that is grainy, but I'm told by an off-duty LAPD officer that witnessed everything that a group of pro-Israeli demonstrators were holding a peaceful rally when several men in a truck waving Palestinian flags stopped in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard and then started swinging their flag sticks. In the moments following that, the men with flags jumped back in their truck and took off, according to that witness. That is when Homeland Security officers approached them. Then the witness said a Homeland Security officer fired one shot at the truck. It did not hit anybody, and at least one person was arrested.
The police came in with their guns. I didn't know really what was happening, but it was right during this Israeli protest strike going on here. So it looked like they were trying to cause up and stir up some drama.
As we reported last night, FEMA has been eyeing the former Sikorsky facility in Big Flats as a processing or holding center for some of the people spilling across our borders.
Response from local politicians hasn't been too favorable, nor is the FAA board.
That's right, guys. The overwhelming amount of undocumented immigrants, most of them coming from Central America, are exceeding the number of holding centers throughout the United States. So FEMA set its sights right here at the old Sikorsky building, which is now a vacant airport hangar, to house these immigrants. But airport administrators say this is no place for anyone to live. Red flags were raised when FEMA set its sights on the vacant Sikorsky airport hangar in Big Flats. Ann Crook, manager of the Elmira Corning Regional Airport, says turning the building into a processing center would be a breach in safety.
Everyone that works on the airport has to have this background criminal check and their fingerprints taken. And so now all of a sudden opening that up to all of these undocumented immigrants changes all of that.